Okay, as you can see right in front of you, I've got the lightning sight done. So this will be the review on this kit and the paint I use for this. But firstly, I would like to point out some differences from this brand SDK as compared to the Kobukobiya. So right now, things I wanted to focus on was this part. Okay, if I were to take a look at the one with the Kobukobiya, you could see there is pattern like this, but for my kit, there isn't anything like that. So I guess that's the difference with the SDK and Kobukobiya, and other than that, nothing else that is different from the picture behind. So just give you a quick look on how does this look like after painting. It took me around 10 days to get this starting from building all the way to painting, including the drying time. So there's a few things that I want you all to take note of when I'm actually building this kit, because if you're following through my working in progress, you could see that I'm actually like breaking stuff all the time. I find that because firstly, as it's a third party kit, the holes and the pick, it's not quite a similar diameter. So what I need to do is actually to get a drill like this to actually drill the picks and the hole, and it actually allowed me to get it into places easier. So I find that it actually helped me a lot. And the next thing is you might want to glue some parts, like for example parts like here. I'm not sure if you see it, like this. Okay, because it's getting up pretty often as you are playing with it. I mean, as in trying to get into poses. So do bear with that. And when you're actually fitting this backpack, if you're looking at my the previous working progress, you found that I actually broke this. So what I do is I use the Tamiya cement, which is let me get it out, which is extra thin cement to fix it back. And so this is the one part, two part that you need to take care of. And another thing was we're actually building this neck area. Pretty much you need to be careful because it's pretty hard for you to fit the ball joint in, because it's something like a ball and a stick, and when I am placing it, it snapped and just flew off, and I can't find that part again. Therefore I'm left out with having this shaft over here, which is from my Tamiya part, the 72mm axis, shaft, and I proxy it, and pretty much it turned out very well. Next was the last thing that I need to mention was actually this whole kit was actually supported by the front and the back torso, and I don't want to take it out, but just to let you know, this particular part it's very fragile because it's actually a polycaps joining by like part A and part B together. So if you wanted a first-hand look before painting when you join and try to put it out, trust me, the peak of this part is so tight that it will actually pull off the polycaps, and then you will break the caps, and eventually you have to super glue stuff, just like what I did for this kit. And if I were to compare to Kobukobiya, they mentioned that there's a few points that is loose, but I don't find any loose point in this kit. For Kobukobiya, they have problems like the tails. They have to super glue it, but to me it's pretty tight. And next thing is all the 4 joints for the ball joints, like here. I'm not sure if you see it in here. They pop up very often, and they say that this part over here is very loose. So I guess for my case, not much of the problem over there. So yeah, so let's just take a good look at this kit. I think it's pretty nice. And we will now move on to the paints I use for this kit. So what we have behind here are the paints I use. So what I'm going to do is to actually review them according to the main colors. So before everything is done, I actually use this Krylon primer to do the base, to prime everything after I clean up the pieces. So what I had for this kind of effect on the armor parts, what I did was I used this metallic silver, which is a lacquer base paint, and I go red with the DPI sparkling black. I'm not sure if you able to see it. It's sparkling black, and it's a lacquer base paint too. You could actually use the Tamiya lacquer base spray gunmetal too, but this is cheaper, and I do still have a lot left with, so I think it's pretty worth. And next I will move on to red. So I use this DPI again, decorative chrome, and I top coat it with this candy red, which is something like this. And for the teeth and claws that I had, the shining claws and the teeth, I actually use the same color, but before that I actually applied a black, so it actually gives it a chrome look. So I'll move on to the inner frame. I use this Honda grey, which is actually the same color as the German grey from Tamiya. And for the silver part, I actually use this silver from DPI and this metallic aluminum from Rust-oleum. And I will move on to the gold parts. I use this copper gold, which I really like this color as I'm using this for most of my kits. And lastly, these are for the caps. I do not know how to pronounce this, but I could say it's anodized bronze. It actually gives this very nice effect, which is pretty realistic. Okay, so all the spray cans are up. I will move on to the hand paints. So just give me a moment to get this back, and let me change the view so you could see how impressive this kit is. Okay, I mentioned you do need this extra thin cement for the gluing and parts. So I will move on with the acrylic paint first. Okay, I use this flat. Okay, let me get this to focus. Okay. I use this flat black acrylic paint because we all know that acrylic is the weakest of all the thinnest paint. So I use this to paneline my enamel paint, which is the titanium silver, which you could see over approximately here. Yeah. Okay, so this is the only acrylic paint I use. I will move on to the enamel paint. So we have the copper from Tamiya. All the enamel are from Tamiya, as well as the acrylic, and the German grey, flat black for panel lining, the titanium silver, and the metallic grey for the semi weather effect on the silver. And lastly will be the lacquer paint, mainly from Mr. Color. First we have this Mr. Color number 8 silver, followed by number 9 gold, and oops, it just fall off, never mind, just put it back. And we have this Mr. Color metallic yellowish green, and I actually gave this a try that day. The shopkeeper actually recommend this because he mentioned that among all the lacquer paints, Gaia seems to be the best, so I just give it a try. It's the gunmetal. Pretty much I use this gunmetal on props like this. Yep, and it's pretty close to the armor, so yeah, it is good for touching up too, and it's lacquer base, so nothing seems to be a very difficult things to do on touching up. So yeah, so and yep, everything seems nice. So I will most likely post some image later on this review kit. So hope you'll like it and tell me how you feel about it. So last but not least, let me show you all the paints I use, and let me gather them together first. So yeah, that's all the paint I use for this kit. It's massive, and I did not really use the decal sheet because you see it's too reflective. It's a sticker, it's not even a water or dry transferred. So yeah, I'm good with whatever is there. So let's have some close-up view for this kit. So I remove the backpack first, so you could actually see how this kit look like. Okay, I have that mirror because I think it would be a good choice for me to show off the bottom of this kit. But of course, if you feel it's very blurred for this video, I will just upload some pictures later on. And I did not put on the armor for parts like here and here because I want to show off the inner frame, and I like it a lot. And of course, this pick will go onto here. So eventually it will look something like what you see just now. But since I took it off and it took quite some time to put it on, I will just show you the bare look of this thing. So yeah, thanks for following the videos, and I appreciate those followers too, although I don't have a lot of view for this. And yep, thank you very much. I will now post some interesting photos of this kit right now. Thanks.
ฉันคิดว่ารักมันคือความผูกพันคิดว่ารักแท้ต้องเดินผ่านวันและเวลายิ่งเนินนานไปเท่าไรความรักยิ่งมีค่าที่ฉันรู้ที่เคยฝันรักที่ฉันเคยเข้าใจไม่คิดไม่ฝันเมื่อเธอผ่านเข้ามาเหมือนว่าสายตาฉันเองมองไม่เห็นใครอยู่ที่เธอแค่เพียงสบตาและวินาทีนั้นโลกทั้งโลกหยุดเคลื่อนไหวท้องฟ้ากลับสดใสลมหายใจไปในห่วงนาทีนี้ฉันหัวใจลอยหลุดไปทันทีที่สบตาเธอหยุดยั้งวันเวลาแค่เราได้พบกันในวันนี้แค่พบเจอกับเธอใจว่ารักเป็นอย่างนี้ฉันเพิ่งเข้าใจเมื่อได้มาเจอด้วยตัวเองเสี้ยวนาทีก็มีความหมายเปลี่ยนโลกได้ทั้งใบฉันเพิ่งรู้ในวันนี้รักไม่ต้องการ
กฉันได้ยังไงอะเราไม่รู้จักกันด้วยซ้ำชื่อฉันคุณยังไม่รู้เลย
ผมรู้แค่ว่า เวลาอยู่กับคุณเนี่ยผมเพิ่งโคตรมีความสุขอะนี่เขาเรียกว่ารักหรือเปล่า